Good night. It's the 22nd of March 2025. It's about 11 p.m. I'll soon turn in. I had a very productive, hard-working, but good, enjoyable day. This is Rosie O'Donnell part 2. I put in an extra L. There's 2 L's in O'Donnell. I made an earlier video on her, and this is about her as well. Now, I've got over 600 new subscribers this week. You're all very welcome. Your subscription helps me in that it adds a bit of punch and gives me a wee bit of strength when YouTube, as they have done several times before, they ban me for a week or 2 weeks for breaking community rules, and yet they won't tell me what rule I broke. Okay, so it's nice to have the subscribers, and thank you very much. Now, for those of you who don't know about me, I am Val Martin, and you'll know about me over a period of time. My YouTube channel is going well, and hopefully I'll keep it going a good while. I am a conservative. I think this woke cultural Marxist agenda is a selfish, destructive phenomenon which I've dedicated to fighting as hard as I can. And back about 8 years ago, I met a Catholic woman called Asia Bibi. She was Asia Noreen Bibi, but they call her Asia Bibi, in Pakistan with a husband and 2 children. She was poor and she went to pick fruit on a fruit farm. And all the rest of the women were Muslims, and they kept harassing her to become a Muslim. I was in the shop tonight and I heard this advertisement about how we must accommodate refugees and migrants into Ireland, and how they're brainwashing the idiots of people here about these migrants. They won't tell us who they are, what their history is, or what their criminal record is. Now, Asia Bibi went to fetch water, which it was her turn, and they allege she sipped out of the well or the ladle, which is forbidden for Kafirs. Christians are dogs to the Muslim religion, at least most of them. We're dogs. A row broke out, and one word buried another with a load of women, and they reported her to the police, and the Islamic police in Pakistan charged her before the courts, and she was sentenced to death by hanging. She was several years on death row in a prison, and her 2 little kids and husband used to come up and shout to her through the window in the evening time. She was sentenced to death to be hanged. A lawyer took up her case because it was outrageous, and he was murdered by the Muslim terrorist. I not use the word. You see my lips. Another lawyer took up her case, and he was attacked. Her lawyer was murdered for trying to do the right thing. The judges stuck to their guns, but there was a bit of pressure on from outside about killing her. And a senior judge, it was appealed and appealed, and she got to the stage she could get nobody to appeal for her. And it was appealed and appealed, and finally a senior judge said, "Here, get her out of here, somebody take her." And there was riots in Pakistan complaining about her not being hanged. That'll show you the brutal shower of villains they are, those Muslims. I'm not afraid of you, boys. I'm not afraid of you. Everyone else in Ireland seems to be afraid of them. They rioted, wanting her hanged. A mother of several kids, all over getting a bucket of water out of a well. These are the ones that are supposed to be victims. I made my case to all the politicians. I asked them to let her into Ireland. I have a farm of land, and I'd have tried to give her a corner or a little place where the council could have put up a little mobile home or a temporary place. Her and her family would be welcome to come to Mass in my town. And I would try and act as a kind of a go-between or a help to get her established and welcome her. And she was a very devout Christian, and when she came up to Mass, we'd all give her a big hug, and her husband and kids. Brendan Howlin of the Labour Party of which I'm no fan, tried as well, and another man that I never met called Patrick Manning. I contacted all the governments and my own TD, Brendan Smith. The answer was no! No! She's not getting in here. That one's a Christian. No! Theresa May was the British Prime Minister, and she was asked to let her in. She says, no way, because I fear it would offend Muslims. I fear it would offend Muslims. Nobody take her. And after a long struggle, and the judge, the day of the court coming up, the Canadian government let her into Canada. She was flown to Canada, probably across Ireland. Her plane probably flew across here. And at least she got a place to go. She probably didn't get the same reception we'd have given her. We'd have been delighted to have her and her family. And our Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael government and Sinn Féin and People Before Profit said no. No Catholics getting in here. Keep her the hell out of here. That's what your government did. Now, Rosie O'Donnell was on the telly last night, and do you know, I made a video about her, and I was trying to get a word to describe her. Oh, she said about Trump, she's supposed to be a comedian, and the first rule about comedy is you don't go political. It's dangerous territory, because if you have a country like Britain where half are Labour and half are Conservatives, or America where half are Republican and half are Democrat, if you make a joke about one side, 50% of the people in the audience don't like it. That's basic mathematics. And it has been the downfall of several comedians trying it on. She took a set on Trump. She thought she'd bury him. She was on The View with that old Rupi Goldberg and a crowd of other woke women, all with a big laugh. Where is it now? It's gone. That show is over. Nobody wants them in America, and the reason she's here is nobody pays any heed to her. They're damaged goods. They're obsolete. Trump is moving on. Trump's running this show. Trump is trying to bring peace to Ukraine, whereas Biden done the opposite. Now, here in Ireland, with Rosie's woke stuff, the Williams Hospital School in Westmeath told a schoolmaster, Enoch Burke, he couldn't come to school because he refused to call a boy they. Rosie says woke is about caring for others, and Jane Fonda says the same. None of them ever did a day's work. How is it caring for others to put the teacher out of the class because you have an oddball of a child? And you have to call them they. And if this is the rule, then why isn't it the rule for the guards? Do they have to call everybody they? This ridiculous woke behaviour has cost Enoch Burke 500 days in prison. And now all he has been taken from him by the Irish government. By Rosie, by your villains, the people you're lying down with now, have already wrecked our country. And you have the nerve to come over here and think you can preach to us. And she's here 3 months, she got on television. And do you know what she's at now? She's grifting for money or sponging. Oh, she says there's plenty of money in Ireland. What's it to do with her what money we have? She went off and made her money in America. She's supposed to be a celebrity. Where is it? She probably has her house over there. How much is it worth? She now comes to Dublin. And she's going out next week. I think it's Leo Varadkar's brother Adam. And another well, I don't know what he is, but Leo Varadkar is a gay man who was the Taoiseach. And they're going out grifting again to pull more money out of the people of Dublin. And the jackasses in Dublin will dip into their pockets and they'll give it to Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, I'm Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, give me your money. Now, I'm not suggesting she's going to spend it on herself. But the bottom line is her presence will pull money out of the people of Dublin. What is wrong with the people of Dublin that they can't do their own charities? Why do they have to have a Yankee failure over here? She's only here a few months and she's sponging. Why didn't she write a cheque for them? I say, how much would you like to raise? We'd love to raise €2,000. Do you know what? I'll give you a cheque for it. What has she given? Why didn't Kilty ask her how much did she give? We know in our own communities, and America is the same as us, and so is England, there's always a few people always on the make. They come into a funeral. Poor Jimmy. Poor James. The poor friend. And they never visited him in hospital or never seen him or give him or bought him a drink or anything. And they behave as if they're as shocked as his family. And they're only there to see can they get a free dinner down in the pub. That's what they're there for. And we all know they exist and they're in every walk of life. I remember when I was in Kevin Street at Guard, there was a lad there, he was an old guard, and he used to watch us coming in for the breakfast, and he'd get our papers when we'd be going out. He'd want free papers, and he had time to read them. And I used to get the full front page and back page of the Irish Independent, and I'd collect all the old ones up at the shops up the street. I'd keep a few old ones, and I'd put 3-week-old newspapers in between the front and back cover, and he'd be reading away, and he'd be on page 3, he'd begin to discover this news is 3 weeks old. Other people would never buy tea bags, they'd always be scrounging tea bags from you. And there's always the person in the pub won't buy his round. And there's always the person looking out if you bought a new Hoover, as happened to me one time. I bought a brand new Hoover to clean for the family to clean the house. This was not where I'm living now. This was in a place where I was a guard. And I hadn't it home when the neighbours was in borrowing it. No problem at all. But they weren't all like that, but some of them were. So Rosie's on the make. Now, when she sees all they're going to give her, all the ones that voted for Richard Boyle Carrot, all socialists, because they're looking for what they can get for nothing. The next thing she'll say, hold on a minute, if these people love me so much, maybe they'd vote for me if I go up for election. And that's what happened with Katherine Zapone. She landed over here with a lesbian friend who later passed away, I'm sad to say. And she started getting involved in good causes, as if we had no elections, as if we had no Department of Social Welfare, as if nothing was done in the last 100 years of our state. And she, Katherine Zapone, she was going to fix it. Well, she knew what to do. And they put her into the Dáil on one time. And then when she got in a while, they began to see through her. And when she tried it again, she lost by a good lot. And when the mess she left became apparent, she humped off back to America and wouldn't come back to an inquiry. And I predict Rosie O'Donnell will be all fanfare here, and the next thing is when she gets a few ESB bills, a few electricity bills, and a few gas bills, and when the shine wears off her, she'll either try for a politician, and she'll probably fail because I'll be on her house. She has me to contend with. And when that doesn't work, she'll head back. Her types, that's the cause of Enoch Burke's misfortune, a decent Irish man. Surely there are people in Dublin who would have been worthy of a vote to get elected to the Dáil when Zapone came here. What did she have on them? A fancy name. Definitely, some Irish people have a severe inferiority complex, and they're in awe of film stars and these crowd. Kieran Malooly, he's an RTE, vote. Tina Carberry, she's a jockey, vote. And decent people that may have devoted their lives to helping their neighbours and working for nothing and being good people get nothing. That's the Dublin Jackeen. That's what they are. And the people who voted for Zapone were Jackie asses. That's all you are. You have an inferiority complex, and a lot of you are the breed of the British Army garrison. Came over from the inner cities of London and you never went back. Rosie O'Donnell, I'm telling you now, you keep quiet. You go on, you can live here. I'm not against you living here. If you have Irish roots, people like to come back. But McGregor said something very clear, and you're totally against McGregor and calling him a rapist, which is a lie. He said there won't be any Ireland to come back to. Keelty didn't ask you to address that, because we're being packed full of migrants as a social experiment, as a sort of eugenics. Is that what you call it? Breeding experiment. The way I breed the cows. We'll mix a crowd of blacks in the middle of them, and they'll produce multicoloured people by the score. Remember that song, All We Need Is a Great Big Melting Pot? Keep it churn, all we got. Keep it running for 100 years or more, and turn out multicoloured people by the score. But Asia Bibi didn't get in. Comment underneath. I'm telling you, Katherine Zapone, you keep quiet. You'll not get out on any protest. I'll take me time off me farm, and I'll go up and I'll be beside you, and I'll shout you down, whether you like it or whether you don't. And Donald Trump is a duly elected president. He did not rig the election like the Democrats did. He had Elon Musk at the count centres, and in one count centre, the woman woke that was going to count it wanted to shut it down at 10 o'clock. And Musk had his lawyers there and said, yeah, we'll go to court. And she had to keep it going. They'd have rigged the election again in favour of Kamala Harris, but they couldn't. They were too well watched. And this Rosie has the cheek to suggest that the 2024 election was rigged. No, Rosie, you're obsolete. Your day came, your day in the sun came, and it's gone. The American people are getting sick of you. And if it was today, Trump would get a bigger majority. And for those who think Trump's a bit over the top, well, yous were the ones that started being over the top. Yous were the ones that started cutting the breasts of young girls and castrating the young boys. Yous are the ones that aggravated Elon Musk losing his son so that he joins up with Trump. You did it. Your people did it. And you got a fair share of the media attention because they had it rigged. And you come over here because they're nearly done in America. All those woke programs are dying out. They're broke. And when you run out of places to sell your goods in America, you come running over to Paddyland, hoping to continue it here. Frances Fitzgerald, the Fine Gael Minister for Justice, I think she was, she gave between $5 and $15 million to the Hillary Clinton Foundation about 10 years ago. And they never thought Trump would win. And she talks about democracy. And when Trump got elected in 2016, her and the like of her never accepted his candidature. They never accepted that he duly elected and he was entitled to do it. They never had the grace to say, he's the president, we wish him well. First time in history that an American president wasn't clapped on by his people. And that's because Rosie, like a lot of these lefters, they're a type of an old tramp. That's all you are. You're out on the make, looking for what you can get for nothing. And you have the cheek to come over and start begging of the people of Dublin and the people of Ireland for whatever cause there may be. And you don't accept that Trump has appointed Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy to try and improve the health of the American people. Whereas your party, the Democrats, are up to the gills in Big Pharma. That's my final word, folks. Thank you all for your comment. The more I think of her, the more disgusted I am with Rosie O'Donnell. I'm an Irishman to the bone. I have 5% of my DNA Scottish, which is normal for Irish people. And I can talk on that grounds. She may be too, but she's 23%. Well, I'm 100% Rosie, except for the 5% Scottish. And I'm telling you, you're here. If you want to live in peace, go ahead. I'll leave you alone. You stick your head above the parapet with the woke crowd and I'll be on your house. I'll do you down and I'll pursue you till I put you that you'll have to go back. What you're doing is a disgrace. You haven't the magnanimity to say Trump is the president, the best of luck to him. No, because you're a spitting owl, vicious owl yoke with your owl begging attitude. And you're good. Oh, you're for autism. Do you ever think none of us ever had a disease or a complaint? Give over. Comment underneath. Bye-bye, folks. I'm sick of these old wokes, and I hope I'm working hard to make most people in Ireland sick of them as well. Goodbye.